Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another Feeding Frenzy for the 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by Edwin Gaines, a simple guide to unlimited abundance. See, I knew it was a big amount of abundance,
by the time
but I
get
couldn't
through
remember.
This book, you'll have it.
I will. I couldn't remember the actual word. I was thinking humongous abundance, but that wasn't it.
We are on chapter 4.
We are.
Still. We're talking about goals, setting goals.
Yeah.
And we just had a wonderful goal-setting experience.
We did. That was fun, wasn't it?
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed dreaming. But before we start talking about that, I want to touch on some other things.
Okay.
All right, you up for that?
Sure.
I'm hitting you out of left field here.
That's all right.
Number 1, how is the 21-day challenge going for affirmations?
The affirmation challenge is going great.
Right.
It really is. I almost got it memorized now.
Yeah.
It is really good. It actually is.
Yeah.
It
I
actually
like
is.
what you set up on the website, where it reminds me 3 times a day, or I would
Well, it
not
helps
remember.
me. It helps me, especially when I get busy. So now I know as soon as I see the email, it's time to say it again.
Right, and we need to say it for this morning, too.
Yeah.
But it also helps me to do it together.
Yeah.
Because it helps to solidify it here, I think, when I not only say it myself, but when I hear someone else saying it at the same time. And it helps to be held accountable to do it.
It keeps
to remind me.
It keeps reminding me of who I am.
Mm-hmm. It does, and it just helps me to be more positive throughout the day, especially when we divide it up into 3 times of the day. So that one's going good. Now tell me, how is the 21-day challenge for complaining going?
Well, that one not so good.
Why not?
Actually, well, the first day
was horrible. Yeah, I agree.
I'm sorry, God himself decided to set the alarm clock and woke me up in such a fit. I'd already ruined the day. Talking about complaining. Oh my gosh.
Let me just explain. There was a huge thunderclap.
Thunderstorm.
Yeah.
And it sounded like Armageddon hit in the backyard.
And it sounded like the house had been bombed.
Boom! Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that ruined the whole day. Yeah, I knew then.
I started complaining then. I did too. I have to.
I'd start the next day. And then the next day I did okay until about
noon.
Lunchtime. And I blew it.
But
But it's calling to mind for me exactly how much I do.
Exactly.
I knew I wasn't going to have a problem with gossiping because it's just not really a thing of mine. And criticizing, that was a little bit more difficult. I do admit that I criticize.
Mm-hmm. We both do.
I do admit.
I've realized we both do.
Now, complaining, oh yeah, I know. But I just didn't realize how much I complained. Wow, that's an eye-opening experience.
So again,
I'm doing okay for today.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay for today. We're not quite noon yet, but
it's still early.
That's okay. I am willing to keep starting over again because every time I do, I realize, golly, I really need to work on this.
Right. So I'm still thinking about building a tool to help us, like the affirmations is helping us. To keep us on track.
I don't know how we're going to do that yet, but if you've got any suggestions, then
I'll figure something out.
But if they've got suggestions, by all means, let us know.
Definitely. So I don't know. I think the more we are conscious of it, though, the more it helps.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And it may take us
and it helps
6 months to get 21 days done.
It might, and that's okay.
At least
but it also helps, too,
to
have somebody to be accountable to.
Yes.
And have somebody else listening.
Right.
Because I get so used to just letting one slide, I don't even think about it.
Right.
You know?
And what I've also noticed is we really need some clear-cut definitions of what complaining is.
We really do.
Because we keep saying, I'm not complaining, I'm just stating a fact. You know? As Edwin says, we just say, oh, that was nice, or something like that. You know? So we need to start saying that instead.
I guess we're going to have some kind of mantra to replace whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but my problem is keeping it from coming out here before I do realize that it's coming. You know, I got to put a better filter in there somewhere.
Yeah. So it's getting better. It's early on in the game, and I'm not going to beat myself up over it. I know this is another habit. It's really another habit.
And it takes 21 days to break the habit, and every time we mess up.
Every time I mess up and start over again, then I'm a little further.
That's
so
right.
I'm okay. It's just like, the weight. No, I am not where I want to be yet, but I am closer, and I feel better. And every day is a new day.
Right.
So,
and we know we're on the right track.
Oh,
Every
absolutely.
day that we progress even a tiny bit, we know
Yes.
we're on the day.
yes.
And we may even take a step backwards, but we know the fluctuation is going down.
Yes, that's what David, our trainer, has said quite often, that when you're losing weight, as long as the trend is still going downward.
Right. It
And-
may go up one day, but as long as the
Exactly.
trend is going downward.
Exactly.
And the
So-
same way with the complaining. As long as our trend, and I think today on the third or fourth day that we've tried it, our trend is going down.
Yeah,
We're
it
still
is.
not there yet. Or
No,
wasn't
I'm not.
yesterday.
And I'd be lying if I told you it was.
Yeah.
I totally
But
would be lying.
another thing I've noticed, it's really hard to stop complaining when you go work out every day because I'm so sore. It's hard
Isn't
not to
it, though?
complain about sore
Well,
muscles.
it's just hard to say, well, isn't that great? It's proving to be difficult, but that's okay. It's a challenge. It's supposed to be.
Right.
So
Okay, so we went through her 10 steps for goal setting
yes,
yesterday.
and I have to admit that's the first time I've actually, as long as I have been studying with Ed
A
Wayne,
weenie?
as long as I have
Ed
been a
weenie?
weenie, yes. It's the first time I've actually gone through all 10 steps
Mhm.
and been so totally excited about it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
totally
think for me, it's the first time I've really gone through all 10 steps, period.
Yeah,
Excited or not.
Yeah.
And but there was something about going through all 10 steps. And we added another step,
We did.
which was to decide what the first right action is. And I think we should probably go a step further and take at least one first step.
That first step. Yes.
Mhm. Now, since we did it on a Saturday,
Mhm.
then some of our first steps have to be done on Monday
Wait till
because
Monday.
places are closed and things. But so we narrowed it that we made a list and we just let our imagination go.
That was fun.
That was really
was
fun.
absolutely
We had 2,
fun.
3, 4 pages of things that we'd like, from things as small as a new pair of shoes to huge things like visiting every amusement park in the U.S. So, we had
Yeah.
just big and small, and
Yeah.
that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Just let our imagination go. And then instead of A, B, C, D, we just broke it down to A's and B's.
Yeah.
Do it. We want to do it right away or it
Or
can
just
wait.
wait a little while.
Right, which I think was a little easier than A, B, C, D.
It was for me. Then I
Yeah.
didn't have to get so in depth on
When and
how
when.
real important is it right this minute. And I
Right.
didn't have to go into, do I think I can do this in 1 year or 5 years?
Right.
It helped me cull down the list to
Exactly.
something that I could really
Well,
look
and I
at.
think the main thing is we want to get it down to what she recommends 12, and we came up with, I think, 13 by the
Right.
end. But one of those was yours and one of them was mine, and so it really was 12 for each of us.
Mm-hmm.
So she recommended 12, and that just seemed to be a good number.
It was,
It
it
just
was.
fit for
Yeah.
what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so we first put them into A's and B's.
Mhm.
We want to do this one right away, and then or it can wait. I'm not dead set on that
Mhm.
yet, but I do want to do it.
Mhm.
And then once we had our A's, we just read through them again, and I forget what the next step was, but we visualized it.
Well, we decided not
Well-
which one is most important, but which one can I start now?
Yeah,
Because they were all A's and all wanted to get to as soon as we possibly can. But then I knew that we were going to look at what's our next possible step or our next right step. And there were some of them on there that were glaring, obvious, there's something we can do
you
now.
do that now. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it became
or
easier
we're already doing that
to
an
narrow
extent.
all of those
Uh-huh.
A's down to just those 12.
Right.
That means we're not forgetting any of those. But these are the ones that I absolutely can take a step on
Right.
now.
Right.
Or
And
step towards.
for us too, I think it's important to get the momentum going. And so if there's something small like the new pair of shoes that we can knock out relatively quickly and feel like we're making progress,
Exactly.
then those are the
Exactly.
obvious.
I'm just as excited to
First
start
ones.
knocking them off the list
Exactly.
as I was to put them on there.
And we're making fun out of it. As new pair of shoes. Okay, you can always go get a new pair of shoes, but not if you go to a certain mall that you hadn't been to in a while and make a weekend of it or whatever.
Exactly.
Just, make it
Make a trip out of
fun
new
thing.
shoes.
Yeah, make a trip out of it and make it as fun as can be.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm really looking forward to getting new
Well,
shoes.
but it's
just
more
because.
than that. It was also allowing yourself to go to that more expensive store rather than just
Right.
doing with a knockoff or something. Those are okay. No,
Right.
going and actually getting what you want.
Right. And for me, it was like, I really do deserve this. this. I really am worth this, even though it's something as stupid as a new pair of shoes.
A new pair of shoes isn't stupid if that's what you want.
If that's what you want. So it was, for me, it was almost validating, that, oh, wow, I really do feel lavish when we get things, even like somebody to come mow the yard for us.
They say that was my big one. It really was. I felt an instant lavishness to have someone come and mow our yard.
Right. Or massages once a week,
Yeah. Not to just put that off as I can't say anymore, I'm getting ready to pass out and it's so hot out there and I'm just going to bite the bullet. And it's no longer a bite the bullet. It's lavish in that I deserve. Somebody else really wants to do this for me. I really want to let them do it.
Yeah.
I deserve that.
Well, as Edwin said, anytime we do something we don't want to do, we're stealing someone else's job.
Yes.
And there are people who love to do those things we don't.
And the little guy that we found last year absolutely loves what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
I want him to love what he does in my yard too. It meant a lot to me. It really did. It brought up a lot of emotion for me because that feels lavish to me. It feels lavish to me because I am perfectly healthy and could go out there and probably could use the exercise and could go out there and do it myself. I just don't want to.
Right.
So that became a big A on my list.
Yeah.